All right, started up the YouTube feed. Again, the market not doing much here. The IWM pretty much bounced right off of the gap fill from this morning. We got the SPY still heading down. Again, I took profits in it here off of this move, off the 15 to the downside, but I took profits. I'm not going to get back in again unless I get another setup on the SPY super system right here off of this 15, which you can kind of do right now, but I'd like to see it closer to it right now. Steve, nice job on coin. You got get in $1.26 out of $1.95, 20 contracts. Good job. I mean, that's a really nice job. Have a great day. All done for the day. Good job. Have a great Thanksgiving. Thanks very much, Steve. Thanks for being in the room. Appreciate it. Joshua on the SPY, we expect it to whack its head on the purple line. Well, yeah, I mean, the VWAP, it may not even get to that. If it's slow all day, it may just if it's down all day, it just may get to the 15 and fall right here. That's why we use the 15 as the other support resistance level, because sometimes if the market is moving down, continues down, the VWAP will become further and further away from the price, but the 15 will move down with it a lot more directly. So it becomes a support resistance level right there on the 15. That's where you want to use. Again, you've had red across the board here all morning on the sell side. But again, there's some choppiness in here, so you have to kind of grab profits pretty quickly. IWM trying to jump up a little bit. Q's right on a pivot, right on an algo line. Slow day. Day before Thanksgiving, always a slow day. Fortinet pulling down today in conjunction with Crowd. Crowd's pulling back pretty hard off of earnings, about 5%. Fortinet down a little bit, about 2%, but still in a bullish channel, and still above the algo line, and still above the 8. It's just above the 8 exponential moving average. Still a nice setup on Fortinet. Here it is right here. Again, we've got till January on these calls. So again, nice little move up on Fortinet. Bull flag, see the big volume. Bull flag starts moving down, hits the 8, just kind of moving along the 8. Crowd pulled down today, pulling Fortinet down a little bit, but right to the 8, and still bullish. Here's the crowd move right here, right down to the 8 to the 15. As we mentioned yesterday, Crowd had earnings. Fortinet doesn't have any earnings, but Fortinet could be impacted by that. But again, we're out so far in time, I'm not overly concerned about that. Again, really just kind of watching the market here. Just a slow drift down in the S&P 500 and the SPY. Current time frame momentum of the SPY super system tell us that the institutions are selling it, but it's a slow day. The volume is low, and it's just kind of drifting down. Again, I took some profits off of the breakdown below the 15 right here, about 30%. But I'm out right now, just waiting for another setup. So again, just watching the market here. There's nothing compelling for me to do as far as a trade. Why aren't we buying puts on the SPY, Alan? You can buy puts on the SPY. I bought puts on the SPY earlier, and I took profits in it. Again, I'm I'm taking fairly quick profits, but nothing wrong with buying puts on the SPY. But are they going to be expiring today? Are they going to be expiring Friday? Are they going to be expiring next week? If you want to be short the SPY, buy puts. But if you think the SPY is going to keep on going down off the daily chart, then you got to be careful, because here's your SPY daily right here. Right, so this is the daily chart now. Big gap up over here. SPY moved down, get below the 8 and the 15. Right now it's moved back up again. So where's it going to go from here? You're expecting it to move down. It could move down to the 8 right here, but this is still a bullish pattern in the SPY. So if you're taking SPYs, short-term SPY puts is what I'm using for the SPY super system. But say why aren't we buying puts? You certainly can buy puts. I bought them today, and I took profits on them. But it's very, very, very choppy. So you have to decide how long term you want. Do you want these be? Do you want them to be just for today? Do you want them to be for Friday? Do you want them to be for next week? Do you think the market's going to drop, for the next couple of weeks? I don't. I think it's going to recover, and I don't want to be too far out on puts on the SPY. If you know our SPY super system, Alan, it depends on the VWAP right here, this pink line, or this 15, this red line, and you want to if you're going short, you want to go into short as it breaks below the 15 or the VWAP. So you get in right close to your support or resistance level, so that you're protected to the if it goes against you. If the SPY goes up and you're in right at the 15 and it closes above it, you can take a small loss on it. If you're chasing it down here and it moves back up to the 15, your loss is going to be much bigger. And right now we're just compressing, and this is what I want to see: some compression, get to approximately the 15 again, and then show me a red candle to the downside, and then I would take some more puts on it. Joshua, any trade on NVIDIA? Well, let me ask you what you think about NVIDIA. What's your take on it? Here's my chart on NVIDIA. Okay, so yeah, after earnings, it's come down pretty hard. All the chip stocks are coming down pretty hard. There's AMD. Also, see this AMD coming down pretty hard this morning. This is a support level right here that just broke through. NVIDIA has got a support level right here at $130.63, $130.63. That's the next support level. So I wouldn't take it because it's so close to there, but it's definitely bearish right now. Definitely bearish with the 100 right down here. Breaks through here, it's got room down to the 100. So am I taking it down? No, I'm not taking it today. Keeps getting hammered is your take. Yeah, the selling off of the earnings. Shai points out there's a long algo line that NVIDIA is sitting on. Isaac, you think the chips could be in the breather for a while? Yeah, they've been in a breather for a bit. Again, we've noticed the last few days, the last couple of weeks, the IWM, which is a Russell, has actually been outperforming the market a little bit. And the Qs have been the weakest. And the Qs are down 1.2% today, sitting right on an algo line. So this is a support level on the Qs right here. This is an algo line that goes all the way back here. This is what the institutions use for support and resistance. One of the things they use on the daily is that algo line, which is sitting on. So I'm not going to trade against it. SPY doesn't really have any support until it gets to the white line here, the 8 exponential moving average. So that's what I'm looking at. And NVIDIA's right here, very nice short, but again, you have limited downside because of the fact that you've got support right there, 130.63. So about $1.20, $1.40 to the downside would be max on NVIDIA. I'm not going to trade NVIDIA short here. I'm more focused on the SPY super system stuff right now, because the market's pretty weak today. But I'm not particularly interested in taking any long-term shorts right now on any stocks unless I can find something really compelling for a short, because again, we're still in a bull market. Welcome all the folks in YouTube. Pretty low volume day today, day before Thanksgiving, day before a holiday. Typically always low volume, very choppy. It doesn't take much to move the stocks around a little bit, but the SPY, the Qs, and the IWM gapped. The Russell 2000 gapped up pretty good this morning, and then has been falling down ever since. It fell right back down and filled the whole gap. And you see right down to this pivot point, which is pretty much the gap fill right there. And now it's just moving sideways. And again, triple Qs are right on the algo support line on the daily, so they're just kind of moving sideways. Tiny, tiny little candles. And the SPY is the trade I took today as a SPY super system. I took it short. I'm looking for another short entry in the SPY. It doesn't really have any real support other than yesterday's low. Again, very slow action here. Look at these little candles. They're very tiny. Not an awful lot driving the market right now. Again, just holiday trading, and it's going to be like this on Friday as well. So be prepared for it. And again, don't feel like they got to make trades. You do not have to make trades. You know, no trade is a trade. Cash is a position. When it's slow like this, if you feel like you got to trade, then you're forcing trades, and you're going to be over trading, and it's detrimental to your account. Again, remember, our objective here is not to make trades. Our objective is to make money, and some days that means don't trade. And right now we're in other than some very short-term puts on the SPY, there really is not that much to trade. And you can really take lots of little losses when you're over trading. You try to take a bunch of trades today and they don't work. You get out, you take another loss. Wait for a good setup, and we're not going to get a lot of great ones today. There's just not enough volume. Like I said, this SPY to this short side here was pretty nice. I took about 30% profit, 28% profit on my SPY puts, but it was very short term. Maybe 8 minutes.
7-year note auction coming in at 4.183% with a bid to cover at 2.71. Once again, that when issued was at 4.197%.
Thanks for that algo line, Shai. I just put it on there. I didn't have it on there. This is the algo line that Shai was talking about on NVIDIA. We're talking about NVIDIA, Joshua. Besides having that support line right here, this horizontal high volume support line, you have this what's called an algo line. It goes back here to August 5th, September 6th, and keeps coming up, and you notice it's right on it right now. So that's also offering some support for NVIDIA, which is why I wouldn't be touching it. I certainly wouldn't go long it. You've got the 50 right here. This is kind of in no man's land right now. Coin also pulling back again today. I still like it long, but it's got to get above this 8. It's got to get above this 8 exponential moving average. That's at 301.17. 301.17. So we'll see if it does or not. Again, I got some double spreads on it that are underwater right now. Let's see what we got. There's some cascading up. These are stocks with relative strength to the market. As the market drifts down, UAVS, cheap stock. Volume horrible. Let's take a look at some higher volume stocks. GEO. And you can take the cascading up stocks, which is going to show you stocks that have relative strength in the market when the market's weak. But you got to look at the volume on them, and you got to look at the daily chart. You don't trade these without looking at the daily chart first. GEO is pretty tight range stock. Netflix coming off a low. Right, sitting on the 8. I can't touch it right now. TMUS, this was mentioned yesterday in the Discord room. Savvy, I think. Nice move on TMUS again yesterday and today.
On BLUE, seen an FDA report out warning of a hematologic malignancy for the treatment of schizophrenia.
Bounce here now, coming up to the 15. Get the VWAP just above. Again, really choppy action. Again, these candles are tiny, and this is where you've got to really pick your spots if you're going to do a SPY super system trade today, trading the SPYs, which I would recommend using the SPY and not the Qs or the IWM right now, because they're too close to support. But in the SPY, you're going to need to see this thing pull to the downside. If it gets above the VWAP today and above the pivot point, then it can actually become a long. But right now, we're just kind of watching it. Joshua, you're back to ground zero. You spent the last few years using a system to find potential breakouts. Bounces off the 50 or day or the 200 day. Yeah, but those are not bad. Those are not bad trades. If you're looking for bounces, you know they basically are PBOs, the pullback opportunities. But you know it's also so important to look at the context of the actual chart, and over time, you go back and look at over the chart recently and see what the pattern looks like. Is it choppy? Is there a continuation on these pullbacks? So they usually bounce and continue to bounce. I mean, you have to take it in context. There's no one thing, but that bounces off the 50 and the 200 are fairly common strategies for taking longs. The thing is, when the market's in a big bull run, you get so far away from the 50 and the 200 that you have nothing to trade, unless you're looking for really weak stocks during a bull market run. So therefore you're trying to go long stocks that have been generally weak against the market for a period of time. Joshua, I'm looking for shrinking retracements. Yeah, that's what's happening. Yeah, I mean, in bull markets, most of the good stocks are way above their support and resistance as far as the moving averages are concerned. So you gotta look for other things. Otherwise you're just trading junk. You're trading junk that you're trying to pick bottoms on as they bounce. And when the market's flat and weak, then those become much better opportunities. I mean, it's very important when you're trying to trade to be consistently profitable, to have some strategies you can use that adhere to whatever the market's doing. There's lots of different strategies you can use, but you've got to have a bunch of strategies in your tool belt that you can use in different markets so that you can take advantage of any particular market conditions. So we're being told to wait for those pullbacks. I mean, trading pullbacks is you don't want to chase. I mean, even whether you're on a 5-minute chart or a daily chart, if the stock is too far extended from like the 8 exponential moving average, then you're chasing. So yeah, you wait for a pullback. That doesn't mean that you're waiting for a pullback to the 50-day moving average when the stock is 100 points above it. SPY bouncing here now, up toward the VWAP. Joshua, everything can be extended? Everything can be extended at some point in time. You don't want to be trading extended stocks on the daily chart, but how are you reading extensions? What I use is a 8 exponential moving average, because typically stocks that get way away from the 8 will come back to it. That 8 can be way above the 50-day moving average. It's a much faster moving average that you can use for calculating how far away a stock is. Again, that's to keep you from trying to get into chasing a stock up. Wait for a good stock to come back down to it on the daily chart. It can be extended from the 50 to the 200. It can be a long way away from the 50 to the 200. Is it likely to come back to them? Someday it'll come back to them, but it could be a long way, and it depends on how steep up the 50 and the 200 is sloping.
Watching VCIG hitting new day highs. VCIG up 250%.
All right, let's see if we get any other questions so far. Nothing much, and take a look at the YouTube room. Yeah, we've got a bunch of people in YouTube too. Welcome to the room. Just kind of watching a slow market today. Very low volume. It's been drifting down. All the indexes have been drifting down since this morning. IWM gapped up the most, and then it's pulled right back, filled the gap. SPY's been pretty much drifting down all day, but pretty choppy. You can see that it's been chopping around a lot. Triple Q's the same thing. That the Nasdaq is pretty weak as well. Chip stocks are down pretty good today, not performing very well, and the Qs, of course, are showing that. But again, the Qs are on a support line on the daily chart. If I look at the triple Qs on the daily chart, I've got a couple things here. I've got this algo line, this yellow line right here. That I drew in. That's an algo line. That's when the institutions use a support level. If you look at it, look at the number of times that it's hit that support line. Right, it hit it here. It hit it here. Hit it here. Hit it here. 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 And today. These are algo support lines, and so you don't try to short the Qs when it's bouncing off of that. Breakdown would be one thing. Then you can go all the way down to this red line, the 50-day moving average. But for right now, that's at support. So I'm not trading Qs today. If I'm going to go short anything right now or long, I'm going to go the SPY. Jarrett, have thoughts on Q for thoughts on square for a swing? Look at the chart. I look at the daily chart. First thing I look at anytime we're talking about a swing trade. Okay, so pretty nice upward movement, but look how choppy it is. All right, you see this move up to this line. That's a high volume horizontal support line. Pop through it, get to the next one. Now it's just riding along there, and now it's riding along the 8. To me, to take this thing, I got to see it get above this 93.19 and close above that 93.19. Now there's potential to take it here and have it run up to the 93.19. So you got a couple of bucks in there, but I'd much prefer to wait for it to break above this 93.19. You can just set an alert there, like I would just set an alert for square. Mark it as a breakout, and if it pops up on my scanner, then I know the square is breaking out, and then I can take a look at it and reevaluate it. A lead could be a potential long. You're saying. Joshua, ALIT. Yeah, it's a pullback right now, and it's just above the 200-day moving average. Pretty cheap stock, but yeah, it's potentially a good long here. Not going to move an awful lot. I mean, this has got a really tiny ATR of 25 cents, so it's not one I'd be interested in, but it is technically set up pretty good. AMSC is a sample of one that is far from the 50. There's a lot of them far from the 50. Yeah, that's another American superconductor. Very choppy right now. It's pulled back. It's right at the 8, right at the 15. Nothing I'm going to touch. But you see, it's above. This is what you get with when you're in a bull market. You've got a lot of these stocks that. Here's the 200, here's the 100, here's the 50. See, it's far away from all those stocks. So you're trading off of the much faster moving averages, like the 15 here, and the orange line, and the white line is the 8. And this is what I use. Typically, when stocks get extended from the 8, they come back to it, or they wait, compress while they're waiting to catch up with it. But this is way too choppy for me. This stock, it's in an uptrend, but it's way too choppy. I mean, I keep showing charts that are nice charts, so you know to look for. We took F5, we took Fiserv along. All right, now I've shown this chart many times. You see how this stock is just moves up along the 8, just consistently moving up here. Pulls back to it, moves back up again. Pulls back to it, moves back up again. So we're long this. We want to see it get above this horizontal resistance line right there. But this is a beautiful stock to set up, and we're out to on January on this thing. This is a if you look at it, can you predict which direction it's likely to go in? I mean, to me, it's obvious to see that this thing is bullish, and it's a beautiful trending stock. See how Apple's doing today. Yeah, Apple has been really choppy. See how much chop there is to it? Here's an algo line that it's been going back up and back and forth. Right now it's stuck in between this 233.09 and 237.49. So it's in a bullish trend here right now. But you notice it gets extended from the 8. Now it's drifting back down a little bit. You have to be aware of that, and that's when I say stocks are extended, that's what I mean. SPY pulling back now again, coming right back off of the 15. That's the SPY Super Systems short entry right there.
GP and Global Payments seeing a little volatility on the name. Talk that they are awaiting their sale of their payroll active network.
And SPY Super System entry right here. I took some SPY puts, coming right off of the 15, right here with the dynamic compression zone right here. I just took some SPY puts right here. Just looking for a small gain. I'm not looking for big gains here today because it's a pre-Thanksgiving market. It's going to be slow, choppy. It's going to be low volume. Just looking for small gains in the options here. I took the 5.99s. 5.99 puts. I paid $1.22 for them. They're $1.27 right now. Let's see if it continues down. Joshua, DLO. Yeah, DLO is a decent setup. We looked at this a couple times this week. Again, a relatively inexpensive stock. Trying to move up today. It's a decent long setup. It's got some fairly strong resistance at 1180, about 40 cents higher. Am I sitting on this yesterday's low on the SPY? Yeah, probably are. Yesterday's low on the SPY was 598.07, 598.07. Right about at it right now. Yeah, I'm aware of that, but I'm still trading off the 15 here. Joe just took another loss on SPY calls. Calls at 1140 here, I'm assuming. Very difficult to try to take this SPY calls here. Is it above the 15? Look where the VWAP is. You see how close that is? That's too much. You've got to be aware of where your resistance and support levels are. This is a resistance level, this VWAP. You don't have enough room here to really justify taking that trade, in my opinion. And first of all, you notice it was red, and then it went to blue, and then it went back to red again. You're trying to catch something that's not there. You're trying to catch an uptrend on a downtrending day off of one candle. It just, because this one here didn't even get up through the 15. It got through it here, but it was still red. By the time it went to blue, you got a red candle here. You had to wait for the candle to close. So, I think that was not a good trade to take personally. Joshua, you getting out of here? Happy Thanksgiving. Have a great Thanksgiving, Joshua. As Terry pointed out, we're right pretty close to yesterday's low on the SPY, but it wasn't. It was not a big volume day yesterday. So yeah, it's the previous day's highs and lows always offer support and resistance, somewhat, but today I just think that we're just drifting down. I think there's a good likelihood that it'll break below it. T2104, by the way, is shifted to a slightly bullish right now. Yeah, no big moves here in the SPY. These are really tiny candles. I'm just catching it off of here, off of the 15. I've got red, current time frame momentum showing institutions selling. I'm just trying to grab a quick 10 or 20 cents to the downside on this, and then I'll just take the profits and wait for another setup. I had one setup already today for about 20 cents, and now I'm looking for another quick 10 to 20 cents. $10 to $20, of course, that is. I don't need much of a big pullback here. I get into $1.22 on the SPY 5.99 puts. They're at $1.29 right now, so I got a sell order on those things at $1.42. Very choppy here. Market not doing much. These are tiny little candles. Just not much volume, not much movement. And that's what you get on days where we've got a holiday coming up. Very low volume. So again, these are not these are not very high probability trade setups. These are decent trade setups off of the SPY super system, but these are not high probability with the kind of day that we've got because the volume is so low. Terry, the tick and Volt have been in positive territory most of the day. Yeah, the T2104 started off bullishly this morning, and then went a little bit bearish, and now it's basically a little bit bullish right now. I have nothing to trade off of that right now. One of the problems is when you're looking at the volume profiles on a day like today, the volume's horrible. So you're looking at a volume profile on a low volume day, which isn't going to tell you an awful lot for upcoming price action, I don't think. Stephen, I'll get you a question in just a minute about the NTLA. Just let me just manage the SPY trade as it's trying to bounce a little bit here. SPY did get right just slightly below yesterday's low on the market and bounced off of it a little bit, which again, it is somewhat of a support level, but I don't know how much support we're going to get there. We'll see. And Jonathan, does the SPY super system only work on the TOS platform? It's loaded on the TOS platform. It also works on NVIDIA. Not NVIDIA. It works on Ninja 8. It'll work on Ninja 8. It's called the money flow tracker over there. It tracks the same kind of information. It just looks a little different on Ninja. I'm just used to using it on Thought and TOS. So this is the SPY super system software loaded onto the Thinkorswim platform. You don't have to, and I don't trade off of Thinkorswim, by the way. You don't have to trade off of Thinkorswim just because you've got it loaded up on Thinkorswim. You can buy the platform. You can buy the SPY Super System software, put it on TOS. You don't have to pay for the TOS platform, and you've got what you need. And then you can trade it anywhere. You can trade it on Fidelity. You can trade it on Scott. You can trade it in Interactive Brokers. I trade it off of Tradier. So whatever trade platform you want to trade on, you're just using this for the setups and your indicators. Jonathan, you're welcome. No problem. Happy to answer any questions you've got.
Rising a little pop in that gas following that number.
Again, I'm trying to sell my my SPY puts here. I'm up a little bit on them, not much, very small. I need one more little flush down. And we're fighting with yesterday's low right here, 598.07. That Terry had pointed out earlier, which it is a support level, but again, on a day like this, there's not enough volume driving this anywhere. You notice most of the green candles have been erased quickly after they came in.
Talk to the FBI investigating lobbyists over hacking League of Environmentalist emails.
I just got filled on my SPY puts. I just took profits on this one flush down here. Again, it may keep on going, But this has not been the trend today. I mean, it pulls down and then it bounces. So I just took, I actually had a in the money and an out of the money in. I'm testing these, but the in the money I took I paid 122. I get out for 142, 20 cents, and for the out of the money I paid 69 cents and I get out for 82 cents. So the out of the money produced a little bit higher ROI when it moved in my favor. But anyway, I'm out of both of them right now, and I don't know how long these are going to go, but I'm happy to take them. But I just kind of showing you how the SPY super system works. You know, for me, getting in at 122 and getting out at 142 was good. It's 20 cents. That's $200 on 10 contracts, and I got out in for 69 and out for 82. That's 13 cents, but only with a $69 entry. So if I took 20 of those, then that was about 260. All right, so that's what I did on those. Again, I'm just kind of trying to show you what I'm looking at here and how I trade this. But again, the key is to get in right at the 15 or the VWAP. You want to get in as close to there as you can because it limits your losses by a lot. All right, so I'm done with that for right now. I'll go back to answering some questions. Thanks for bearing with me while I made some trades. All right, now let me take a look here. Jarek, you're going to, thank you. Have a great Thanksgiving and a call it quits and protect your capital. Not a bad idea. I mean, it's not a great day for trading. I mean, you got to be really feeling nimble today. Doug, did I take another? I did take another SPY Super System trade. I took it right here off of this 15 breakdown right here, and I just got out on this candle right here. All right. On the in the money, $20 a contract profit. The out of the money, $13 a contract. But of course, the in the money cost me about only about 75% of what the out of the money did. I'm testing those, the in the money and the out of money methodology. But right now, stick with the in the money. For right now you would be trading like a 5.99 put. But yeah, I took that one. I'm out already. All right, let me go back. Somebody had a question here. Stephen, you had a question on NTLA short. Yeah, I remember this from a few days ago. And you're saying it's November 20 short, yeah. Just poked above the EMA and the 15. Didn't take the trade, just trying to learn about your process of thinking about puts and a broader bull market trend. Yeah, this the stock is still a bearish stock, but when I'm in a trade like that, like NTLA short, and again you're trading against the market, of course, but this is a pretty weak stock, and it's a biotech. Listen, biotechs don't follow the market. Biotechs march to their own drummer. Anything that's biotech. And this, you can see it's pulled down. It was very bearish. It went through this support line right here. This is where I took it. Now it's bounced back up again. Now it's gotten above the 8 and it's right at the 15. So for me today, if this thing closes above the 15, I'm out of the trade. If it closes below the 15, down near the 8, then I stay in the trade. All right, because it is. I mean, this is still in a strong market. This is pretty bearish. Hopefully that answers your question. Again, anytime when you're looking to get out of a trade and it's a swing type trade, use a daily chart. Don't worry about the 5-minute chart. Focus on your daily chart. So again, I did trade the SPY twice today on the short side. Here, I think, and right here, and I'm out of both of those trades, and I just took my profits in them. Again, it makes for there's really not that much else to trade today. This is really a pretty garbagey day. The volume's so low. Yeah, always. Anytime you're in doubt about what I'm doing with the trade, look at the daily chart, and that's going to tell you. When we took Sedge, we took a loss on Sedge, remember? And again, I don't want to necessarily highlight the losing trades, but this was a nice short setup that we took. But you see what it did? And once it got above the 8 right here and the 15, we had to get out. We couldn't stay in that trade. It turned bullish. It's heading up to the 50-day moving average. So you take your loss. You take your loss. It didn't head down. And again, in this market, shorts are difficult because you're trading against a strong market. But solar was really weak here. We tried to join it here and ride it down, and it didn't work. I mean, it came right back up to the 8 and then right back through it again. So listen, we have losing trades. Everybody has losing trades. We just we don't have a lot. You know, our win rate in the room is between about 85 and 90%, sometimes 92%. The SPY Super System trades are much higher than they run around 90% win rate on the SPY Super System trades. I was 92% this month so far for me on the SPY Super System trades. But again, you know, you've got to learn how to trade them. I have a good video, about a 30-minute video, on the setups for those and the criteria and how to trade them. And it's up to each person to I let you know when I find a setup, but it's up to each person to manage those trades. It's not like the ones I alert on where I can tell you specific information because they're not so time sensitive. SPY Super Systems are very, very time sensitive. See, this thing is pulling back down again now. If I stayed in, I'd made more money, but it's not that kind of day. At least it hasn't been. Can I let you know about the coin CDS I took? Yeah, sure. It's down pretty bad for me right now, but I took the 310 315 call debit spread expiring Friday. I paid $2.02 for my first batch and $1.35 for my second batch. I've got 2 batches of them. Terry points out coins holding the pivot point. Yeah, listen, I'm going to hold this coin thing too tomorrow. You could go against me and I could lose all my money, all the money I put into it. But this thing is really volatile. And it's actually got a little bit of relative strength right now. This coin right here. Terry points out it's holding the pivot point right here. Where I took that right here, I don't remember if I took it here. Whoops, let me go back to the SPY. I think I took it on this candle, Doug. I don't think I waited for it. It was red when I took it, right here. So I didn't take it here. I took it here. Took it right in this, somewhere in this candle, and I get out somewhere on this candle. This or this one, I can't remember. Again, these are quick trades, so I'm just looking at the, set my sell order in there and get out. But I think it was on this candle right here. It broke below the 15 and through this dynamic compression zone. But I probably took it on this candle somewhere. And if you're talking about this band pair, if I took it here, I would have just taken it on the way down. I didn't wait for this. I don't think I waited for this one to close, because that was a break below the 15. This was a break below the 15 too, but you see it was blue here, and I had dynamic compression. So this is the candle I came in on. All right, so gone over a lot of SPY Super System information today. And again, they work pretty well. Again, so we get a little bounce here. This is why I didn't stay in them any longer. I just took the money when I could. Get in close to the 15, take the profits. And I'm going to look see if I can find any additional swing trades to take, but right now I'm not seeing anything that's very compelling.
The sun's coming out.
All right, let me check for some questions here. Again, it's the day before a holiday. It's going to be, the market's going to be slow. Which is, I'm just taking quick. I just did 2 SPY super system trades today. That's it. I haven't done anything else except for the coin debit spread, the call debit spread that I took, which is very speculative, but I called that out this morning. Again, I'm not recommending people take that. It's not being posted. I haven't posted anything today. I'm just waiting to see what the market does. I'm probably not going to take any more until, possibly one Friday, but most likely I'm going to wait till next week at this point for any new swing type trades. For anybody that's watching on YouTube, this is called the SPY Super System. This is a piece of software that goes on Thinkorswim that gives us indicators. This is multi-time frame momentum. This is current time frame momentum. This is long-term trend, and this is a derivation of money flow. These are the 2 I focus on the SPY Super System that I've been talking about so much today, because there isn't very much good swing trading to take today. I focus on the current time frame momentum. Blue and yellow is bearish. Red and yellow is bearish. Green and blue is bullish. As you can see, it's been pretty much bearish all day. This tells me the institutions are selling on the current time frame. So I use that to gear a trade off of either the VWAP, this volume weighted average price, the pink line, or this 15 EMA, which is this red line. I took a 15 EMA one right here and wrote it down and took profits on it right there. And that's pretty much all I've done today, except for a coin call debit spread on the coin. But this is a piece of software that you can buy, called by the SPY Super System, that goes on your Thinkorswim platform, and you don't have to trade off of the Thinkorswim platform. You can trade off of any platform you want. This just gives you the indicators and the setups that you want to identify to take these SPY Super System trades, or any of the swing trades that we take. Which case we would be looking at multi-time frame momentum and current time frame momentum. We'd be looking at them on a daily chart and not a 5-minute chart. Great piece of software. Just goes on toss, and it tells you whether the institutions are in the trade or not. That is a huge edge over other retail traders, because most of them don't know if the institutions are in there or not. And again, a couple things I use here. is to focus on the daily chart. For any swing trades you take, make sure the daily trade chart is bullish if you're going long and bearish if you're going short. Don't trade against the daily chart for a swing type trade. All right, and we also trade stocks with relative strength and relative weakness. That means stocks that are moving up when the market's moving sideways and down moving down when the market is moving sideways or up. It is not RSI. And then we have a couple of scans here. This is a cascading up scan. This shows you all the stocks that have relative strength right now. So you can find stocks that are really strong as the market's moving up. Then you switch to your daily chart and see if it's something that you'd be interested in trading based on the daily chart. Here's the daily chart on PAR. Looks beautiful. That's a very nice setup right there on PAR. The only other thing I look at is when does it have earnings? Doesn't have earnings till February. That's PAR Technologies. That's a really nice long potential setup right there on PAR. That's how we find them. And I use TC2000, so I also have additional scans that I use.
On the DAT Reddit, an article from NBC News circulating titled Reddit targets international users for ad growth, teases a bolstered search feature.
And PAR, by the way, only has monthly options, and they're $5 spreads on them. Very difficult to trade because they're very expensive. Very little volume on this PAR technology. Not really tradable as far as options are concerned, but it is tradable if you'd have to buy the stock. No volume to speak of at all. Vertex, that's a got strength today, but it's a terrible daily chart. See, if I look at that, Vertex looks good there, but when I look at the daily chart, it's just trying to bounce. But look at all the resistance here. Horizontal resistance, 50, 100, way too much resistance right there on this stock. SPY bouncing back up again now. All right, it's about 12:23 here, coming up on 12:30. Again, I'm going to be taking some lunch here in a minute. Augustine, you're new. Can I please late me bionomic stocks? I don't know what you mean. Can bionomic stocks? Give me a little bit more. Give me a little bit more detail on what you're asking. I'll be happy to answer the question. By a weak little bounce here, right up to the 15 again. Again, we're getting pretty far away from the VWAP, but the 15 is a good resistance level to try to take any SPYs. Short, if you want to take a short off the SPY, you're getting a little bounce off of it right here now to the downside. Everything's red. Institutions selling, so we're still market is still short. It's still bearish. Looking at the T2104, it's been kind of bullish. It's just got slightly bearish here lately, but it's really just choppy. Again, there's not an awful lot of volume to deal with here today. Volume is very light. What do I think of TJXV? Look at the daily chart. It's a nice strong daily chart. I mean, it's pretty bullish. To me, it's a little extended from the 8, a little extended. Every time when they get extended, like these stocks get extended, you see what they do. They compress or they come down and wait for the 8 to catch up. Now the 8's going up pretty nice and briskly, but I wouldn't be entering up here. I'd be waiting for at least the stock to move sideways and let the 8 catch up or get closer to it, and then I'd take it long. But it's definitely bullish. I mean, you could take it here if you go far enough in time so that you can withstand any kind of a pullback that you might get between now and January or February. But it's a really nice setup on TJX. SPY bouncing again. Again, it's getting very choppy here now. Just trying to find some support, getting up above the 15. So I'm not really likely to bounce into any puts right now. Even if we get a breakdown here, I'm not likely to jump into them. We're getting a little bit too much strength coming in. We'll watch the current time frame momentum, see if we switch over to blue here. SPY a little bounce. And coming up on about 12:30. Again, I'm going to grab lunch here in just a few minutes. And we'll end the YouTube feed when I go to lunch. I want to thank everybody who came in and was watching on YouTube today. Again, what we're using here is the SPY Super System. It's a piece of software. It used to be called the Compass System, SPY Super System. And then we use a methodology also called the SPY Super System, which trades off of 5-minute candlesticks on the SPY, the Qs, and the IWM, just for our intraday trades. Then we take a lot of day trades, a lot of swing trades, and longer-term intraday trades that we post here in the room, and we send out alerts on. We have an alert service where you can get the alerts, or be in the room where you can hear the call-outs, and I answer questions all day long in the room about individual stocks or people's questions about trading, and try to help people become consistently profitable. Again, we've been doing this since January of 2022 here in this room, so we're coming up on this will be 35 months completed right now. 32 winning months to 3 little losing months, and a really good track record, about 87 to 89% win rate, month after month after month. That's on the room, and then the SPY Super System is completely separate. This has been extremely profitable for anybody who likes to do relatively fast intraday trades. But you've got to be either in the room to see these, because I can't post these or send them out in alerts. They're too fast. Or you need to have the software, the SPY Super System software that you put on your Thinkorswim platform will give you these indicators. Notice we just went to blue temporarily, at least on the SPY. So again, you don't want to be trading short right now. Well, that's still showing blue. That shows we've got some buying coming in from institutions. Right, I'm going to get some lunch, everybody. And thanks so much for the YouTube folks. Thanks for being in the room today and watching my broadcast. I appreciate that. I'm here, trying to be here every day from around 11 or so, for about an hour to an hour and a half. So you can watch this trade here in my SPY Super System trading room, where we trade options all day long. I'm here all day long, from market open to market close, 5 days a week. I do take lunch and try to help for folks. We have a lot of folks in here trading, and I have a lot of folks on the alert service. And again, you can see I think you can see the value of this SPY Super System that runs on Thinkorswim. Really, really helpful for trading. All right, so listen, I'm going to go ahead and get some lunch. Again, thank you folks from the YouTube feed. I'm going to close that down now, and hopefully we'll see you on Friday. And everybody who's in there, have a great Thanksgiving.